Hello, my name is Dr. Amish Vora. I'm an ECMO specialist. I've been doing ECMO for last 21 years. My first patient I saw in ECMO was in 2000 in Australia. When I was really doing my fellowship over there, I got interested in ECMO. And after doing my 5 years of fellowship in Australia, I went to UK and did a fellowship on ECMO for 3 years. And then for 8 years, I was an ECMO consultant in UK. Finally, I came back to India and have started doing ECMO in India. In 2015, I had said India will be one of the leading ECMO centers, doing the highest number of ECMO in the world. And in 5 years, we can see drastically the numbers of ECMO done in India are increasing. In 2019, the rough estimate was we had done about 750 ECMOs. And I'm sure in this pandemic, the number of ECMOs are going up drastically. So ECMO is extracorporeal membrane oxygenation. It is nothing but a machine which has a filter which is called as an oxygenator, which helps your blood to get oxygenated. There is also in the machine, it can give with the force, so it can take over the function of both the lungs to oxygenate and the heart to pump. So ECMO is nothing but a dialyzing machine. Dialyzing does the function of kidney. ECMO is a dialyzing type of machine which does the function for lung or heart. ECMO is used for heart or lung. When your heart or lung is injured and needs time for recovery, you give them rest, and that's why we use ECMO. It is based on a very simple principle. When you sprain or break your leg, do you go outside and play football or run around it? Or do you stay at home, rest and wait for recovery? Same thing, when your heart or your lung is injured, instead of making it work harder, we put them on this machine, so thereby your heart and lung rest and is given time to recover. While the function of the heart and lung is done by the machine called ECMO. ECMO is similar to your dialyzing machine. Dialyzing machine you use for kidneys, ECMO we use for lungs or heart. Usually for 80% of the patients we use for lung injury, where you have severe lung which is damaged or injured, and because of any reasons, infection or trauma, and it's waiting to recover, we put them on ECMO, and usually they have a very good outcome when you put for lung injury. 20% of the time we put for heart in case your heart is failing because of infection or because of sudden trauma or injury, and we wait for the heart to recover. Rarely, sometimes you have a massive heart attack, you can't get ready for theatre, you put on artificial heart lung machine which is ECMO, get you stabilized, and then you do the surgery. After surgery, you come off the machine. Sometimes it is also used as a rescue treatment. Rescue treatment is in the surgery. While operating in the OT, the surgeons feel that they might not be able to come off the bypass machine. They put on ECMO and they bring you back, and after a day or two, your heart recovers, we come out. Nowadays, also ECMO is used for bridge to transplant. Transplant, same two organs, lung and the heart. Suppose your lung is injured too much and you cannot function much, you're waiting for a transplant lung, but your other organs will start getting injured because your lungs are not functioning, then it's better to put on ECMO, take over the lung functions to make sure you preserve the other organs and stabilize you for the transplant. Similarly, your heart, if your heart is failing and you're waiting for the other heart transplant list, but your heart is feeling so much that the other organs are getting affected and you can't do your basic normal day-to-day life, then you are put on ECMO and waiting for transplant. So when we were discussing when your heart or lung is injured, we should be putting on ECMO. How do we know when we should be putting? The World Association of ECMO, which is called as ALSO, has given guidelines which clearly says that once your lung is injured and your lung needs to rest if the oxygen requirement is more than 100% for 6 to 12 hours. If the carbon dioxide in your body is very high and the acid falls down to below 7.2, or the carbon dioxide is more than 60 at any stage for 4 to 8 hours, we should start talking about ECMO. Similarly, when your heart is failing, your acid in your body starts going up, your lactate starts going up to 4 and 6, and you have tried all the methods to reverse the injury and it's not working, you should be calling up the ECMO centers for ECMO. The plan is you should involve the ECMO centers early. Just because you're calling the ECMO centers, all of them do not need to go. 50% of the patients, when we are referred, we do not put them on ECMO. We just guide them, we are aware of them, they are also aware of them, the family gets counseling, everybody is aware and they feel better, they have a plan B ready. Sometimes the plan A of your treatment works, patients don't come. As I said, 50% of the patients do not come in India. Internationally, it's believed that your ECMO referral is appropriate when 80% of your patients do not need to come. That means you have been referred enough patients early that 80% of them do not need to come for ECMO, and you can just guide them and keep an eye on them. As we said, there are two methods of doing ECMO. One is for the lung. For the lung, it is called as VV ECMO. V stands for veins, and that means we remove the blood from a vein and we return the blood from another vein. Usually we remove the blood from your leg veins and return the blood from your neck vein, and we oxygenate the blood before coming back. VV ECMO is usually used for lung conditions. It is a very safe and well-established method of doing ECMO. Majority of the time we do VV ECMO. Coming to the second part about the heart. In the heart, you want to bypass the heart. So over here, we use what is called as VA ECMO. In VA ECMO, you take the blood from the vein and bypass the heart and the lung and return it to the part of the body which supplies to the rest of the body. So it's called as from a vein, you supply it back in the artery, and it's called as a VA ECMO. It is used when it's needed for heart surgery. Both VV ECMO and VA ECMO has been done for last more than 25-30 years, and it has a very good success rate. So while we are talking about ECMO, as I was saying, ECMO is nothing new. First patient put on ECMO was in 1971 in Orange County in USA, where a biker had an accident and he had injury, his lungs were injured and he was kept on ECMO. The surgeon's name was Professor Donald Hill, and he came out of ECMO nicely. Similarly, ECMO is also used. In fact, ECMO was first found to be most useful in newborns and in children. In 1972, Bob Bartlett or Robert Bartlett put a newborn baby on ECMO. Her name is Esperanza, which in Spanish means inspiration, and she was put on ECMO and after that she came out of ECMO, and now she is an adult who is happily married and has 2 children of her own. So ECMO is going on for a long time. The first trial which showed that ECMO is a life-saving tool was published in newborns in 1989 in Lancet, and it was done in England. It was done from the center where I worked and trained from. After that, there are many trials. Even the trial in adult, the Caesar trial, was done in the same center, and which has shown that ECMO works. ECMO is proven its benefit for a long time. So we are talking about ECMO. We know ECMO is an artificial machine. It's beneficial, yes, but everything in life, when there's a benefit, there's also a risk. Putting somebody on ECMO also has its risk. In India, the biggest risk is infection. That's why we take a lot of care to make sure that the patient does not get infection. Having said that, whether it's India or in Australia or in UK, we know that if patient is on artificial heart-lung machine, there are chances that every 2 to 3 weeks he'll have 1 episode of infection. And we have to make sure that we try to pick it up early and treat it appropriately and decrease the risk which it takes. At the same time, we have to remove the blood from the body. We know that whenever we remove the blood from the body, the blood needs to be kept in the liquid state. Otherwise, the blood will clot. For that, we need to use blood thinner. When we use blood thinner, and this blood thinner has to go back in the body, if there's any bleeding episode, the patient can bleed a lot. And that is another major risk factor of ECMO. That if the patient has bleeding, they can bleed a lot. At the same time, as we said, that whenever the blood has a tendency to form a clot, when it comes out of the body, we take precautions, but sometimes a clot can go into the body, or the body can make some clots in its own organism. Suppose you can have in your brain a clot formation and you can have a stroke. So these are the main complications of ECMO, and these are the things which we need to be careful about, which are infection, bleeding, and stroke. So while we are doing ECMO, why are we doing it? We are doing ECMO to make sure that our patients get better. Nobody wants to use a treatment which does not work. We have enough data over the last 30 years from the World Registry which shows that ECMO works very well. ECMO works very well for the lung injury when put early. Nearly 60 to 80% of patients with lung injury come out of ECMO and can go home. And that's what we are hoping for. Any patients with heart injury, when put appropriately, 50% of them can go home and recover. So we are talking about a very high risk group of population, patients who are nearly going to die. And we say that more than 60 to 80% with lung injury and more than 50% of the patients with heart injury can survive and go home. And this is why we do ECMO. In a new setup, in a new country, the results will take some time, but they will improve. ECMO in pandemic and COVID, the results are a little bit not up to that other conditions. In COVID, the results are a little bit down, where we say in COVID, the recovery rates are between 30 to 50%, and transplant risk is about 10 to 30%. But this is why we need to do ECMO. The earlier we put, the better is the outcome. At the same time, we do not want to put patients on ECMO who don't need it. But the important thing is to discuss, get the ECMO centers involved early to help your patients.